Hello, everyone. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today we have a tag. This is a tag created by Han over at Simply Han for Valentine's Day. This is the loveliest decks tag. There are 8 prompts. I'm very excited. This is going to be cute. I love a Valentine's Day tag. I've done a few. I'll put them in the cards for you up here as we go along if you would like to see them. You can find those cards down below the description box. If you scroll down, they'll be down below the description box when you get to the end of the video if you want to check those out. I am looking forward to this. This was a lot of fun to pull together, and it's very much timely, very in time for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to try to get this up on Valentine's Day. If you're seeing this on the day it goes live, happy Valentine's Day to everybody watching. So let's get started. The first prompt is the Heartbreak deck. Which deck swept me off my feet at first sight? That's going to be the Tarot of the Vampires by Charles Harrington with artwork by Craig Mayer. I think I have a walkthrough of this. If you haven't seen it, you can see the giddy. I opened it live on, well, not live. I opened it on camera, so it was like a first impressions, but I had been waiting for this for so long. I had it pre-ordered as soon as they put the pre-order up. And if you know Llewellyn, you know they put their pre-orders up way in advance, months and months and months in advance. So I've been waiting on this. I've been stalking the artist on Instagram. And let's show the cards. I don't know why I'm just looking at showing the backs. But this, yeah, and it's exactly what I wanted. I opened it and it was exactly what I hoped it would be. It was, what I love in vampires, these sort of moody, sexy, dramatic, action, brooding vampires that that has a little bit of diversity, which I had another vampire deck. It didn't have any diversity, so I was excited to see a little diversity in this one. And just have it was just everything I wanted in a vampire deck. It was everything I wanted. So, and I still love this deck. It was definitely a heartthrob deck that swept me off my feet at first sight, but I still love it. So we're still together. This is one of those decks that I think will always be with me. I edged it, which I haven't edged a deck in so long, but sometimes I get a deck and I'm just like, I love this deck so much. I'm never rehoming it. I might as well edge it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be giving it away to anybody. So it's always gonna be with me. And I have been wanting a deck with werewolves, and there is at least one in this one. So that's nice. But yeah, I love this deck. I know that it's got mixed reviews, but for me, this is a slam dunk. I love it. Just adore it. So this is the tarot of, here's our Queen of Swords from the box, Tarot of the Vampires by Charles Harrington. Charles Harrington has become one of my favorite oracle deck and tarot deck authors recently, and they before it was Charles Harrington, it was Stephen Bright. And I still love Stephen Bright, but Stephen Bright did the guidebook for the favorite oracle deck that I like to use with this one, which is the Anne Stokes Gothic Oracle. Anyways, the next prompt is the Hopeless Romantic deck. Which deck feels the most dreamy and romantic? So that was the easy one. This is new in my questions. The Jane Austen Tarot, A Deck of Sense and Sensibility by Linda Falcon. Pick this up at Barnes and Noble. This was a Marlena Teresa put me onto this. I really appreciate it, Marlena, if you see this. I This is the Oracle deck by, who did this oracle? Titan Books. Hang on, I got boxes. Hold on. By Lulu Minausa, illustrated by Sandrine Fourier. So this is the oracle deck that I started with, and I had been stalking this one, and it was in French forever, and then finally it came out in English, and I snatched it, and then and then Marlena Teresa showed this one, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And this is beautiful. So I was this whole pairing, and you see, I keep them in the box together. So I don't even see the point of separating them at all. This whole pairing is dreamy and just lovely and romantic. And I mean, what is more romantic than Jane Austen vibe? You know what I mean? Like that's just it's just gonna bring the romance anyway. Look, I mean, he's kissing her hand. It's just Jane Austen's books are romantic. They have that sweet longing that we love to read about in her books. So then the artwork on this deck, these is just so soft and dreamy. So it matches perfectly on the for the tarot. And I love the way they made some of the cards look like they've been folded. So they look like old letters or something. Which there's like this one. See how it looks like it's been folded? I love that, which also gives it more of like a romantic vibe because it feels like old romantic letters that people used to write to each other and then I don't know. I love this whole vibe. So if I'm looking for like hopeless romantic, like the part of me who just loves romance novels and romantic movies and all the like all of that steamy romance vibe or even just sweet romance vibe, then this is given that. So these are my dreamy romantic decks. The Jane Austen Tarot. This one you can get from Barnes and Noble. I think pretty exclusively from Barnes and Noble. And this is the Jane Austen, or this is Oracle Jane Austen, which you can get on Amazon. And I'll put links for everything in the description box below. I was pretty smitten with this pairing, but the box, I like the box because it's really pretty and I didn't want to get rid of it, but I was tempted to throw it out because it's so big and it had like this tray inside and it was just doing way too much. This box could have been this big for real and the whole deck and book would have fit inside if it was like half the size of this. And it could have been as thin as just the top because it had like this riser. It was too much interior stuff. So as you can see, I have fit the tarot deck and the oracle deck inside this box pretty comfortably, and I can still put crystals and stuff in there if I wanted to. So that's but I worked it out, and now I have the space, and I can keep the pretty box because I like all of the filigree and just the decoration, and it's pretty. So that's Jane Austen. The next, oh look, you can tell I like this sort of design for my background this month. So the next one is the Soulmate deck. Which deck do I feel the deepest emotional connection with? And a question like this was a little bit difficult for me because I don't know that I usually have deep emotional connections with my decks, not emotionally, but there are some decks that I have felt emotional reactions to some of the cards. And the most recent one would be the Dia de los Muertos Oracle. This is something that I bought this deck I don't know, maybe a year or two ago. It's been a little while. I just recently started using it pretty heavily though. Um, I've been using it nonstop for probably since September. Maybe it was October. I think it might have been September. And I just love it. I just love the stack. And I can't seem to put it away, even though we're now in February. and Dia de los Muertos is long gone. But I just love the stack. It comforts me to pull a card and then read from the guidebook about the messages from spirit or ancestors or past loved ones, however you want to see it, and they just feel comforting. And so this is a deck that has moved me many, many times over. The images are sweet, like they just feel really, really. I don't know. I feel like drawn to these images. I feel comfortable um, getting lost in these scenes on these cards, looking into the faces or just being here with these marigolds. I don't know. I love them. I love them. I don't know if it's the warm feelings I get from the guidebooks that is now reciprocal in the imagery, or if it was vice versa. I don't know where it started or where it ends. Now, while I wouldn't say that this was like a soul deck or anything like that, as far as this prompt goes, a soulmate deck or a deck that I feel a deep connection with, I would say this one because I've had a lot of deep emotional reactions to a lot of the cards and a lot of the messages that I see in the guidebook. So should we pull a card? Let's pull one. Let's read a message in the guidebook and see what we get. So we have papel picado. See, and it's in Spanish, and I know papel is paper. I'm not sure what picado is, but it'll tell us in the guidebook. So let's just look. It says, the sacred is not in heaven or far away, it is all around us. And small human rituals can connect us to its presence. And of course, the greatest challenging gift is to see the sacred in each other. That is from Amal Luz Villanueva. And it says, my beautiful one, you selected this card to be reminded that no matter how real your anguish may seem, from my vantage point, it's flimsy and shot full of holes. Take a moment to consider the nature of paper, the delicate substance this text is inscribed upon, its malleability, and its ability to carry a message. The question to ask yourself is, what message do you want to broadcast? Do you want to stream a story of tragedy or triumph, pain or pleasure, sorrow or sweetness? You are the storyteller who can rewrite the script, the artist who can pound the pulp of your life into an emblem of ecstatic freedom. Consider the notion that to create is to connect with God. Actively engaging in any form of art, as impermanent as it may be, penetrates the illusion of separateness and allows humanity to taste immortality by emulating the divine. No matter how great your heartache is, as long as you dare to bring your creative spark into the world, death, darkness, and pain cannot and will not defeat you. The blessing of grief is that it cuts like a sharp pair of scissors through paper, leaving you face to face with the stunning beauty of your immortal soul. And it goes on, and then it talks about the meaning in here. Papel picado, delicately decorated, perforated tissue paper, represents wind and the fragility of light. But yeah, I think that's a wonderful message. And there's more message there to have, but I'm going to stop there because we have more prompts. But you can see how something like that could move you if you are dealing with grief or thinking about a loved one that has no longer with you or something like that. So this is Dia de los Muertos Oracle. The next prompt is the self-love deck. This says, which deck helps me reconnect with myself and practice self-care? Okay, so I just got a new one that I have been reworking my self-care and self-in affirmation deck collection. And Amazon was having a sale on quite a few decks from Andrews McMeel Publishing, and I picked this one up. This is Ascending Assertion, 52 Weeks of Mental Awareness and Self-Care by R.H. Sin. I actually had his poetry book, and he has a few books out, and I think I've had over the years maybe one or two. And this one is, I didn't even know this deck existed. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm definitely picking that up. And I have been using it every day since. It is wonderful. It comes with a little tray that you can put your cards in. The cards are this lovely, like, I don't even know. This is like a paper. It's like it feels kind of like natural paper, like uncoated paper. It's a very, I don't know how long this is gonna last, so I did purchase another one. They had these on sale for like $2.95, y'all, like $2.95. So I bought this one. I'm so happy to have it. These are the facts, and I purchased another one as backup because I have a feeling I've been keeping these in my kitchen and they're uncoated and they're very papery. And while I love the feeling of them, um, they're not going to last. You can see they're already starting to tear up here at the edge, and I've only had them like 2 weeks. So, so I bought a backup. So these cards they're all words and the backs, and they're numbered, but there's no guidebook or anything. And they really they give you like, they remind you to stay strong, basically. They really have they get in there and just remind you to be strong. Where's the little, hang on, let's read this. So it says, I believe in in the power of words. Personally, I have experienced my best days when using my inner voice to express positive outcomes and mantras that inspire strength. The way you think and the way you speak about yourself, both inwardly and outwardly, can dictate the direction of your life. These weekly affirmations have been written to help you through a year-long journey that will be filled with many obstacles. My hope is that when things get tough, you will return to these words as a reminder of how capable you are as you walk through the path toward the life you deserve. And there are 52 of them, so you can pull one a week or you can pull them by the week. Like what week are we on now? Maybe week 7 in the year. So I don't know where 7 is, but let's read for 8. So 8 says, "Today my actions will reflect the future I wish to live in." So yeah, that's really powerful, you know. And then if you wanted to journal, what is the future that I wish to live in, and what actions can I take this week to actually be actively working toward that? 9, my mistakes are lessons. I am rich in knowledge. And how can I work towards reframing my mindset of the mistakes that I've made, and what the things that I've learned? And maybe I sit this week and journal about some mistakes that I beat myself up about that actually have taught me lessons, and talk and write in there about what lessons they've taught me so that I can remember that, you know. I am not lost. I am wandering in the purpose. I am wandering in the direction of my purpose. I promise to be kinder to myself and more patient with my journey in this season of healing and emotional growth. This day doesn't need to be perfect for it to be a good day, and I don't need to be perfect in order to have a good life. I am at peace, even at this center of chaos. Whew. I will find silence in the noise of everyday life. That one I'm definitely gonna be needing this year. So I've shuffled them up, as you can see. I'm not pulling one by week, pulling them when I feel called to them. And I'm gonna do that, until I get tired of them. So they're gonna sit in there all month at least, and maybe more. And I think when I move them from the kitchen, I may move them into the bedroom. So let's see what message we get. I do not have to linger in the spaces with people who only intend to waste my time. I do not have to apologize for my desire to be seen, considered, and appreciated. So there we go. Message for the collective. And again, that is the Ascending Assertion, 52 weeks of mental awareness and self care. This is my self love deck. So natural, and like, just because the paper feels really natural and uncoated. The box is uncoated and linen. And then it has this like wooden stand, which I haven't been using because I have a million stands. But if I wanted to keep this, somewhere where I didn't have a stand, I love that it comes with a stand. So yeah, this is wonderful, 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 wonderful. So very excited that I was able to pick this up from Amazon. Even the box is beautiful. So yeah, I really love this one. That is my self-care deck. And the next, self-love deck. And the next prompt, number 5, the Power Couple Combo. My favorite tarot and oracle deck pairing, and why. Right now, my favorite pairing. Oh, I don't have the deck in here. At the moment, this is my favorite pairing. This is the Mary Magdalene Oracle and the Biblical Tarot. Now, this changes periodically. Right now, this is my favorite pairing because I've just been using it a lot. I've been exclusively almost using this deck with Biblical Tarot. I have been using the Biblical Tarot with other decks, but this deck has been pretty exclusively being used with this one. So, you can by that alone, you can tell I really love the pairing, because I have a lot of decks, and if I'm exclusively using something, then I must really love them together. So let's just take a look. I like the way they look together, but more than that, I like the messages that they give. They just give really profound, well, they have been giving me really profound and beloved and comforting messages. I don't know what's going on with my deck. It's so rocky. This poor deck is so bowed. It's like crazy bowed. Like, it's doing that thing. I don't even care. I love this deck, and I'll just use it bowed. I don't care. But like, the two decks together they make me sit in my thoughts. And so I like to read from the guidebook for this one. Pull one of these, read from the guidebook first, because the guidebook is just really good, and it gives so much more than what you see on the cards. Or, well, it doesn't give more than what you see on the cards. It makes the card make more sense, I think, because what you have written here is just like a drop in the bucket of what the card, what the message in the guidebook is really here to tell you. You know what I mean? So it's really important for me to pull these cards when I have time to sit down with the guidebook for this. And the guidebook messages aren't long, it's only like 2 pages per card. So it's not like it takes forever, but I need to make sure that I have the time to read it. And then I pull, once I've, gotten the guidebook message, there's always a question at the end or some sort of meditation. If I have questions or if I want to answer that question, sometimes I will use this deck to pull cards for it. Or, if I'm meditating and a question comes up, or I might just pull cards around it just in general. So I just have been really enjoying these together. And I really love the guidebook for this one as well. So it's just a real like sit with the cards, read the guidebook, really consider, and then draw in like some of my spirituality, which is not something I normally do with cards, but I have been with this set. So this is something that I like about it as well. So this has been my favorite pairing recently. And nothing about that has really changed for the past, like, what, 4 months? This has been it. Like I said, my favorite pairings change when once I decide I don't want to work with this set anymore, then I'll have another set that, sometimes another thing will come up where I really love them together. But usually I'm using decks with a lot of different other decks. I very rarely like put a deck just with um, one other deck, and that's it. Like that's something like it's not something I typically do, although you've seen two here where they're pretty solidly stuck together. Like this one is pretty solidly stuck to the Biblical Tarot. However, the Biblical Tarot is not stuck to this. Like I have other decks that I use with that one. And you saw the Jane Austens already, but so I say I don't normally do that, but actually I have done it before, obviously, but it's not something that I do very regularly. I like to mix it up. Next up is the Secret Admirer deck, a deck I don't use often, but I secretly adore. Is going to be this one, Tarot of Japanese Poetry. I got this from Kickstarter. Absolutely love it. Love everything about it. Love the soft box. I love the production. I love the cards. I love the guidebook with the haikus in it. Well, they're not all haikus, but they're little prose and poetry and just nice poems inside for every card. I love I love how soft this feels. It's like all soft touch matte. Everything except the cards are linen, but everything else is soft touch matte. I love the backs. I think these backs are so serene and beautiful, and I just love to look at them. The scrolls on the front. I love everything about this deck. I secretly adore this deck, but I don't use it that often, and I think it's one of the reasons is because I forget I have it, to be honest. Like sometimes I don't think about this deck that much. It doesn't come to mind when I'm thinking about what deck do I want to use. It's not something that pops into my mind. And the other reason is that the cards are it's a lot of cards. There's like 80 something cards, and the deck is very thick, which makes it difficult for me to shuffle. And when something is difficult for me to shuffle, I'm less likely to use it as much. But that all being said, whenever I use this deck, I'm just like, I love these cards. Like, this is the Four of Swords, and look how beautiful. And then there's always like a poem in the guidebook to go along with them. And I sit and I think about all of the work it took to create this deck and come up with all of these images and those poems and just bring this whole project together like this. And I just really have a deep appreciation for this deck, even though I don't use it that much. And here's the Emperor. I love how it looks like I'm like the message has been unraveled on the card for me, the High Priestess, to show me the secret there. Like the High Priestess has unraveled her scroll to show me a glimpse of life. I enjoy that. I just like this deck. It's imaginative and smart and beautiful and serene. And I secretly adore it, even though I rarely ever use it. So, I mean, I don't know how secret it is, my adoration for this deck, but maybe because I don't use it, so I don't talk about it much, it might seem kind of secret, you know? But that is the tarot of Japanese poetry. All right. Number 7, the Forever Love deck. If I could only keep one deck, which would it be? I'm going with the Super Lunaris Tarot. And my thought process on this is that I would not want to not have this deck, if that makes sense. So if I could only keep one, if something happened for some reason and people were like, "Oh, you're only allowed one tarot deck," you know, this would be the one I would keep because I would not want to not have this. And I could read any reading and do whatever I needed with this one, so it would be fine. You know, I would miss my other decks, but I could not. I would, if I didn't have this one, I probably wouldn't even want to read tarot. Like, I just don't, because there are going to be some types of readings that I'm just not going to do with any other deck. This is that deck that really, I really read. It understands me, and I understand it. If I feel super connected to it, it's tearing up. You can see my cards are starting to peel. I don't know if you can see, but some of the cards are starting to peel. Some of them are starting to split. I have backup cards that I could take the ones that are tearing out and put the new ones in, but I don't want to. I don't want to change it out. I really love this deck as it is. So I guess I'll just use it until I absolutely can't use it anymore. And then maybe I'll just get the other deck out and use that one. I don't know. I don't know how it's all going to go. But at the moment, I'm not interested in replacing the cards, even though some of them are ripped and they catch on each other because the paper is like it's like splitting. Yeah, I've done some surgery on them. They're fine. They're going to be fine. We're going to. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. I've done a little surgery. I glued some paper back to the back. Anyways, I love the stack, and I don't. This is the one. This is the one that if I could, this is the forever deck. You know, this is the one that if I could only be one deck, this is the one it would be. And this is the Super Lunaris Tarot. I just feel really connected to this deck, and it wasn't always like that, y'all. When I first got this deck, I felt it was too, it felt, I thought it felt, I don't know, I felt very, I couldn't connect to it. I was having a hard time working with it. Um, I just, I don't know, there was something about it that there was like a disconnect. And then one day it just clicked. And ever since then, it's just been like like a beloved friend, you know. And when I do readings where I'm feeling some type of way and I wouldn't dare use any other deck, this is the deck that I use. This is the deck that I trust. Um, so yeah, this is the one I would want if I could only keep one, and this is Super Leonard's Tale. All right, last question. The love letter card. A card that feels like a love letter to myself or someone special. This is a Ceiling Risa Tarot by Melanie Bittner. She is, no, that's the illustrator. Who's the, Julia Aurelia. She is an Instagram, no, she's a YouTuber. Um, she does tarot readings in German. And she did this deck with along with another deck, and it's beautiful. But I love this. I love this deck very much. This tarot card here, this is the Tower. This is the card that I would say feels like a love letter to myself, because the Tower card is a very difficult card for me. I have a lot of issues that I have unpacked and, you know, worked on, but they're there. You know, I'm always working with them and through them with this card. Okay. Lots of negative emotions, connotations, all kinds of things. And this card here, when I saw this for the first time, it just felt like someone out there, someone else out there feels the same way I feel about this Tower card. And they wanted to let me know that I am not alone. And in that way, it felt like a love letter, like someone trying to reach out to me and make me feel good. That's what love letters are for, right? You want to reach out to the person and tell them that you care for them, share your heart with them. And this felt like someone trying to reach out to me and say, hey, I feel you on this card. I feel you on this energy. But, you know, but I'm going to send you a card that doesn't, scare you, that doesn't make you feel any kind of shock to your system, but that just makes you feel seen. And this is the one that arrived, in the mail through the love letter. So that's why I feel like this card is a love letter to me. Even though it's my least favorite card in any deck, this card really does feel like a love letter in that way. She has the stigmata. She has the broken the breaks with the light shining through the breaks. There's the tower with the light in the background at her third eye chakra. She's got red cheeks as if she has, burning, her face is burning from the inside out. There's so much. The pure heart, you know, it's just beautiful. I think that this is a beautiful card, and it just really feels like a love letter because it's very rare that I love a tower card, and I really love this one. So that is the tower card from the Seal and Rice Tarot as the love letter card. And that is that's the last one. So those are my loveliest decks. What are your loveliest decks? Do you have any answers to these, or are you going to do the tag? Let me know all the things in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe. I release videos every few days regarding tarot and oracle. Thank you to Han for tagging me. I really appreciate it. If you see this, thank you very much. And happy Valentine's Day to anybody who is seeing this on Valentine's Day. Links in the description. And until I see you guys next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye-bye.